Welcome back, everybody. So we are going to talk about what sold this week, and once again my theory of tweaking your listings and making sure that you go back and kind of update them a little bit, keeping your account active, making sure that you're listing every single day, absolutely boost your sales. Now this week it did take a day or two for it to kick in, but as soon as it kicked in, it was fantastic. We had a fantastic listing clothing, and it drives me crazy, but when they sell, I'm happy when they do sell, but listing them it's just so annoying. I don't know why. It's just not one of my favorite things to list. So we're just going to jump right on into it and let's get started. Now, last week we talked about the Doctor Who belt that I picked up at Goodwill. This week it sold for $19.95. That was a very, very quick turnaround, and I was glad to see it go so fast. Next is going to be this Canon PowerShot camera. Picked it up for $1.50 at a yard sale, and it sold for $19.95. Then we have this Monster High, I think it was Porter doll. And Monster High does really, really well. If you see it at a yard sale, garage sale, Goodwill, and it's within reason, pick it up. Anyway, he sold this week for $25, buyer paid shipping. I'm gonna guess that with as many Monster High dolls that I had, that I paid 50 cents for him. So, moving right along. We picked up these HP toner printers that were still in the box, picked two of them up at Goodwill for $5.99. Both of them sold the exact same day. It was crazy. Within hours of each other. They both sold for $53, and the buyer paid shipping on both of those. Really quick turnaround. If you happen to see and can pick them up for a good price, any sealed new toner, print cartridges, anything like that, they sell really, really well. I will warn you though, if you're using the global shipping program, do not ship those using the global shipping program, because a lot of countries do not accept anything to do with toner, computers, printers, anything like that. So do keep that in mind. All right, next is going to be this the Last Earth catalog. Now this one was kind of interesting, and I'm going to show several pictures to kind of give you guys an idea of why I am kind of pausing when we go here, because I do want to point this out. We happened to see on, I believe it was like Craigslist or like the Nextdoor app, one of those, and somebody had said that they had a bunch of free stuff by the side of the road. So we decided to go and check this out. Oh my goodness, I picked up most of the things that they had thrown by the side of the road. It was crazy that most of this stuff was still there. Most people would look at this particular book, I'm gonna put it up here, and pass on it. Just say, ooh, it's gross, it's got water damage, it's got mold, it's stinky, it's nasty, nobody's gonna want it, and just chunk it out and not think twice about it. Well, we picked this up on the side of the road, by the driveway, got it for free, got an offer. Someone sent us an offer for $16, and it sold, and I already packed it off and shipped, and the buyer put in his description back to me, his little message back to me, I love an old moldy book. Well, you're gonna get you an old moldy book because this book is old and it's moldy. Okay, so moving right along, we have a Howard clock. This Howard cherry clock, picked it up at Goodwill for $2.99. It sold for $14.50. And of course, she's gonna say hello. Okay, back. Next, we picked up this calculator at... Next, we picked up this calculator. Of course, we had to have a little comedy in the video. Next, we picked up this calculator, paid $2 for it, sold this week for $12. That little calculator we've had for a little bit, but calculators, especially the really old ones, and the calculator manuals seem to sell really steady. So if you see them and they're cheap enough, pick them up because they will flip. Then we have this church light for Christmas. Picked it up at a yard sale for $1. It sold this week full price for $19.95. That was a buy it now. Then we have this, it's called Homco. They're the little Indians. It's a little nativity set. Super cute. Picked this up at Goodwill for $2.99. It sold this week on Buy It Now for $29.95. Now, you guys know I love books. Anytime I see books, I grab them, even old moldy ones. And picked this book up. It's the Juan Ponce de Leon book. Picked it up for $1 at, I believe it was like a book fair for homeschool moms. Picked it up for $1 and it sold this week. We sent an offer. They accepted $20. Then we have this Granger Smith. I believe he's like a country western singer. Or maybe Red Dirt. Maybe I got that right. And anyway, it was a hoodie. Picked it up for $5.99. It sold this week for $59.95. I was kind of shocked about that one, because when I listed it, I wasn't really sure if I was going too high or not. And no, it sold fairly quickly, and we got, you know, quite a bit of a return on it. I don't mind talking about the ones that I make a little bit more money on when it comes to clothing. Those I'll include in my videos, but the other ones I'm not doing. All right, so next we have the Precious Moments Bear. Now this Precious Moments Bear, I was both sad and excited to see it go. Number one, it was one of the very first items that we picked up to start selling on eBay, so we've had it between 5 to 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. We've been doing this now a little over 7 months, and so we've had it for quite a while, but I didn't pay very much for it. Paid $2.99 for it, and it sold this week. We sent an offer. They accepted for $34. Then we have this Isomatic Chrome Cruncher. It is a vintage item. You'd put ice in it and turn a little wheel and it crushes up the ice. Paid $1.50 for it at a yard sale. It sold this week for $25. That was an offer that we sent off and they accepted. Now, I had 2 Vera Bradley bags sell this week. Both of them were bought within the same week. I actually purchased 3 of them all within the same week. I kept 1 for myself. But the first 2 sold really, really quickly. And here's what they sold for. So the black Paisley Vera Bradley bag, picked that up for $3. It had a where it had been re-sewn on the back, and I put that in the listing that it had been re-sewn. Please look at the pictures really carefully. It sold this week for $30. That was a offer that we sent off and they accepted. Next was this green Vera Bradley backpack. It picked it up for, let me see, I believe I paid $5. Can't really remember on this one, like I said, because I bought 3 of them in a row, like at 3 different yard sales. I believe I paid $5 for it. Anyway, that one was a little bit rough around the edges, just a little bit, and so I did accept, or they accepted the offer. We sent an offer for $15. They accepted, and I think that that was a pretty good deal, especially because, like I said, around the edges, it did have a little more wear than I like to normally list the items having. Okay, so then we have these white and red checkered Vans. Picked them up at a yard sale for $3. That was a offer that we sent and the buyer accepted. Now, you guys remember me talking about the Beavis and Butthead like coloring books? And it was the same yard sale that where I picked up the Stacy Keibler WWE poster. Picked these up at that same yard sale, paid $1 a piece for them. They both sold to the same customer this week, and they both sold for $34, and that was a offer that we sent to them. Now, I picked up this polo. It was just laying next to the Nerf guns, and I just picked it up. It was brand new in plastic, paid $1 for it. It sold this week for $21.95. Anytime that you happen to find or see bookends, get them. Bookends seem to sell really, really good. They're a little long on the back end. It takes them a little longer to sell, but once you hit that right person seeing it, it's going to sell fast and it's going to sell for what you want. So bookends, 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 bookends. A lot of people pass those up, but grab them. These were 2 brass swan bookends, paid $5.99 for the set. They sold this week for $35. That was an offer that we sent, the buyer accepted. Now, at a yard sale, we picked up these Grand Ole Opry videos. I wasn't really sure if they would do anything, but they were only $3. We picked them up. They sold this week for $22, and of course with media mail, the shipping was a little or nothing. Buyer paid it, and they've already been mailed off. Now, last week we talked about this, I think it's called TAC deck recorder. It was like a vintage, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to work because we still needed to test them. Anyway, they did turn on and all the knobs worked, and even the tape player would you could hear it click and turn on. However, it would not spin. So I wasn't sure if maybe the mechanism on the inside needs to be replaced or just a new cord added in there to make it pull. Wasn't really sure what it needed, so I listed it as parts. It sold, and it sold quick and fast. We purchased that for $5.99. It sold this week for $40. That was an offer that we sent and the buyer accepted. Now, we've always talked about these seed bags because intermittently in my videos we happen to sell them here and there and everywhere. Now, for what we paid, they have far beyond succeeded paying for themselves because they just seem to sell really, really quick and really fast. These seed bags, picked them up at a yard sale for 50 cents. This one sold for $31. That was an offer that we sent. They accepted. All right, now we're going to talk about these Noel Relco. They're little tiny little figurines. Here's something to think about. Now, I always try and steer clear of anything that's broken, right? But if it has a fairly good repair on it, I will go ahead and pick it up. These had a repair on the E. You could hardly see it unless you tilted it and looked, and you could see how it had been repaired. So this was listed as it had been broken, it's been repaired, and took close-up pictures so that they could see all of the little tiny pieces and how it all went back together. No problem, they bought it. So we purchased these for $1. They sold this week for $30. So just because something is moldy and old and broken doesn't necessarily mean that you can't sell it and actually make a little bit of money with it. So keep that in mind when you're working your eBay business. Now, this Funko Pop is a Gus Frame, I think so you say his name. Not 100% sure. Picked this up at a yard sale yesterday for $1.50. Listed it last night, woke up this morning, it has sold in the middle of the night. It sold for $59.95. I will be getting that shipped off this week. I'm so excited. So excited. That was a good flip. I was happy to see that one go. And it made it in this video. So very cool before the end of the week. All right, last but not least is going to be this Judy Instructor educational aid. They're clocks. These were picked up at Goodwill for $2.99. They were bought yesterday, and the buyer paid $39.95. That was a buy it now, meaning that they did pay full price. We didn't have to come off the price at all. All right, so that is my list of what sold this week. Like I was telling you guys, there are some things that I decided not to put in the video just for time reasons. I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter, not so long, so that you guys don't get bored. We don't want you bored, we want you entertained. All right, so if you happen to like this kind of content, like to see what is bought, sold, or how I flip it, or issues that I'm having with my eBay store, or issues that I'm having with customers. If you're wanting to learn, please join me on this journey. We're all learning together, and hopefully I can help you make a little bit more money. All right, guys, so be sure that you subscribe, and I will see y'all at the next one. Bye.